Ghost Lord here. Just gonna be explaining settlements in the simplest and best way that I can. So to start off, obviously you've all probably noticed the bar at the top when you open up the workshop. You got how many people are in your settlement. The far left, you have your food, your water, your power, defense, beds, happiness, and then the size of your population. So, depending on how many people you have, you're going to want to have, at bare minimum, the same amount of food as the amount of people you have. Sort of with the water as well, but considering the smallest increment is just 3 water per well you can place down, you can't really get the exact amount all the time. But enough will suffice. Power is going to depend on what you have. If you have a bunch of turrets that require power, you're going to need even more generators to keep enough power for your people to be happy, as well as enough power to power all your things. Defense, from what I've seen, your settlers usually want a really high defense, and the defense also depends on the size of the population. At least that's what I've seen. So the more people you have, the more defense you're going to need to have in order to keep them happy. And then obviously you need at least the same amount of beds as 7 people. But you don't need 24 beds for 7 people, because it's just not needed. And to start it off with one important note as well, the settlements do have a max amount of things you can have built. Now Sanctuary, and that's where I'm at the moment, is Sanctuary, the very first place you come across when you come out of the vault up there. I was able to get a fence all the way around Sanctuary. Still build my okay player home right there, as you see. And still have a decently intricate power system with quite a few turrets. And as far as I've seen, I'm still able to build stuff, so Sanctuary is definitely one of the larger settlements that you can build with pieces. But there are some settlements where you don't get that many things you can build. So you're going to have to kind of throw your settlers to the wolves and focus mainly on food, water, defense, and power. Only focus on power if you really need stuff that requires power. So if your defense, which you end up using like laser turrets or missile turrets, and they require you to have power to them, you're going to need to have some power then. And that'll keep your settlers, well, settlement as a whole, at a relatively high happiness. Not too low. But if you want to have a high happiness, you're going to want to have a surplus of food, water, power, defense. Not beds, obviously. You don't need, like I said before, 24 beds for 7 people. It doesn't help at all. But you're going to want to have a surplus of food, water, power, depending on how your setup is, and then obviously defense relative to the amount of people you have. And that'll keep that settlement pretty fun for a long time. Unless they get attacked and all the turrets get blown up, then kind of screwed. But have fun repairing. And another really useful tip too is, if you haven't found out already, you don't have to drop the junk out of your inventory and break it on the floor. You can just run over to the workshop here, and I'm using a 360 controller since I didn't say that at the beginning. But if you just run over here, you can just hit X, and then you can hit Y down at the bottom. I don't have any junk because I already put all my junk in the workshop, but you can just put all the building materials straight into the workshop. Don't have to worry about it. Don't need to drop it or anything. So that's really nice. And then in the Pip-Boy, under data, under workshops, you can see all your settlements. I have a decent amount of settlements. I don't suggest going for that many settlements right off the bat. It is. I find it really hard now to set up defenses for all the settlements. As you can see, all the exclamation marks. People are very, well, not very mad, but they're all complaining. That's what that means, is they're complaining about whatever there's an exclamation mark next to. Most of them want more defense, but I don't have enough mats to build defenses. But you can also get defense from building the guard posts. So, I mean, that's one way to get more defenses if you want to do it that way. I happen to fancy turrets. So, most of my defenses are mainly from turrets. And there's a lot of places that have very little defense, or no defense, such as Nordhagen. But that's besides the point. This is an easy way to just look at all your settlements, look at their needs or whatever, what they're complaining about, what they want more of. If they want more of something, it'll be indicated by an arrow pointing up. It's pretty self-explanatory, since it's an arrow pointing up. But, that's what that means. I haven't seen an arrow going down, so I don't know what that means. So, there's an example that shows the happiness is going up. So, that's pretty nice. Little Pip-Boy thing. Look at all your settlements. And if you didn't find out already, it's pretty easy breaking stuff down. Oh, and you can access the build menu from anywhere. You don't need to use a workshop. If you're using a 360 controller, it's the back button. You just hold it down until the menu pops up. It only works if you're in the settlement, though. You don't get to use this fancy thing everywhere. But if you you just pull this up and you just go up to stuff that's breakable, such as this tree, just hit X, scrap it, boom, materials. So that covers that. That's pretty simple as well. And oh well, back to the Pip-Boy. If you go to the Pip-Boy, and then you go to your charts. I'll explain this first. If you go here, once you get high enough level, you get local leader. You need 6 charisma. But if you at least get the first point, this is pretty key to helping you build your other settlements up. Because once you get the first point in local leader, you're able to establish supply lines, which is really simple, but it allows you to connect your settlements, which also connects all of the materials between all of those settlements, which is amazing. Makes it super easy, and you don't have to run back and forth grabbing all the mats. And to do so, you just need a settler who is doing absolutely nothing in their settlement. They're not being productive at all. And I don't really have anyone to completely show it, but if you bring up your build menu and you go up to someone, as you can see at the bottom, I have the option to do supply line. However, I have Mama Murphy being the tradesperson here, so I can't really do that. But you just do that to a settler. It lets you select what other settlement you want to connect the one that you're in to. And voila! You instantly have access to all the materials in that other place, as well as the ones in here, or there, or wherever you are. But that's pretty simple. And then, if you do end up going one more level in the local leader, maxing it out, you are able to build stores. From what I've seen, it does tell you that the income is based off of how many people are in the settlement, if you didn't bother to read that. But how you're awarded the income, from what I've seen, it seems like it just automatically gets deposited into your inventory when you visit that settlement. So if you go and visit your settlements or whatever, you'll get the income from your stores that are in those settlements, which is a very nice way of making caps. And it's nice to sometimes utilize the stores. But that's about it for the stores. It's pretty simple stuff too. Power system, it's pretty simple as well. You at least want everything connected. Now you don't have to connect the generators to like the other generators to keep all the electricity together. But as long as everything's connected somehow, you can even connect everything through turrets that need power. but you can use the power pylons like I did here. It's easy to connect everything. Powering your house, the absolute easiest way to do it. Oh, well, minus picking up the door. But the easiest way to do it is with the power conduits, as you see up there. They have a decent sized radius to which to what they power. So that power conduit there powers the it powers the light down here. Well, not that one. I don't have that one close enough. But the other ones, they power the ones upstairs, the lights upstairs, as well as the lights downstairs. So they have a decent radius. It's not super large, as you can see, because the one light there works. However, the one downstairs does not. But besides that, well, actually, I believe that one doesn't work downstairs because I accidentally have a switch attached to it. But they have a decent radius, like I said. And some fancy turrets. Some rocket turrets. Rocket turrets are OP. Just putting that out there now. You'll want to have rocket turrets, most definitely. They just take a lot of materials. They're a pain in the butt. But that's the power. Well, yeah, power in a nutshell. It's pretty simple as well. I suggest having sirens as well in your settlements. Really nice. Even the settlers, someone will run up and use it if there's combat anywhere in the area of your settlement. Someone will run up, and if they use it, all the settlers, from what I've seen, they all gather around the siren, all with their weapons drawn, ready for combat. So that's kind of cool. Turrets, yep, covered about all that. So it's not, the building's not too bad. And obviously if you didn't find out already, the actual building of stuff is pretty simple as well. I suggest probably starting with the door frame, and since there is something similar to Smart Snap at least. So I mean everything snaps together really nice. And the staircase I suggest using is the wood one, like this. It's really nice because you can connect it to the floors. Unlike using a normal staircase where you won't have enough headroom to actually go up the stairs, so you have to leave this piece out, so then you have a nasty giant hole in your floor. But you could find that one under wood, under floors. And it's the fifth one over. It's really nice. That's also what I used, as you saw, for the turrets over here. It's really nice for turrets as well. You can fit 2, maybe 3 if you really try hard on it. Well, and depending on how you face it, I suppose, too. If you faced it like this, you'd probably put like 4 turrets on it. But it's nice for setting turrets kind of up high, too, so things that melee don't really go and smack your turrets out of commission. And then, like I explained earlier, too, this is, you also have guard posts like that, which are always nice. It does seem, it seems like you can put one settler to a whole bunch of them, and all of the guard posts still count towards defense, so I suppose that's one way to have enough to, like, make your settlers feel safe. It's not really gonna do you much good if one person's trying to guard, like, 25 guard posts, though. So, I definitely suggest some turrets. I mean, the heavy machine gun turrets aren't too bad. I would definitely at least have a few of those. They're at least the cheaper ones to make, too. So that's nice. That's just about it for that. There's nothing else super special about settlements. I mean, you can also, in the Pip-Boy as well, if you go to your map for 360 controller, if you hit left button and you do have supply lines, you can also see all your supply lines, which is kind of cool. Got a little web on the map. And you'll want to at least, like, try and do it sort of intricately. because you want them all connected in some way or another, so you can have 100% utilization of all of the resources you have that you can use for building. So just try and connect them somehow. I found it really easy utilizing the fact that the castle gets a lot of people. So I made a lot of people provisioners. That's also their names do change when you give someone a supply line. I don't believe I have anyone here at the moment. But instead of saying settler or Minutemen, their name will be provisioner, and that's to help you identify them so you don't accidentally make them go do a different job, because then you lose that supply line. And if you lose that supply line, well, you obviously lose all the access to all the resources and the food and water. That's also another key thing. It doesn't technically it increases the food, water, and not the power, just the food and water, really. Technically, it increases it when you have settlements connected because they share the food and water, so that's one way to make them happy as well. But you'll still want to get settlements up to a decent amount of food and water. You don't want to leave one settlement at like 2 food, have it connected to one that has like 34 food. I mean, you could go that way. I don't believe their happiness will be super high. Having it connected just kind of keeps them at a steady number. Doesn't make them drop too low. You can kind of see over there. I believe there's a provisioner over here across the bridge. But they'll walk around with Brahmin with a bunch of packs on their back or whatever, so they're pretty distinctive. That way you don't mess anything up. But that's most of the building, most of the sort of intricate stuff, not super terrible. It's pretty easy. And so, yeah. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helped you out as well. Go make some really large settlements. Connect them suckers. Build some magical stuff. Frosty out.
Yeah.